Alrighty, hello and welcome to this fantastic dinosaur match on Magic the Gathering Arena in Explorer. List, as always, is in the description, but I mentioned this in the Discord. Join it if you haven't already. That I had a lovely match against Mono Red Indomitable Creativity with the World Spine Wurm and Xenagos. It makes it a 30-30. Trample Haste usually kills opponents in one single turn. I certainly did not expect that to be the case. I thought this would just be normal mono red. I might be dead, certainly, because this variation of dinosaurs, Stampede dinosaurs, can be slightly slow in a sense. There is no early creatures, but boom, it does tend to kill opponents in one turn. Lots of hasty damage and lots of lovely bodies. There's certainly no lack of that. And certainly that was a fantastic hand. It is very consistent, I must say. Try it out for yourself if you haven't. You've got Sylvan Scrying to grab that Sunken Citadel, pairing two of them, hopefully, with Castle Garenbrig as always. 3 lands in total. 2 Sunkens, 1 Castle, you make 6, and then 2 other lands, and you're making 8 with 5. Or maybe you make 8 mana with 6 lands. That's still pretty decent. Pretty hard and pretty durable. You don't have to worry about the opponent fatal pushing your little creature, fiery impulse, your little thing. You get there pretty much in the most stable way. However, not so much against Field of Ruin, which we actually talked about tonight again. Pithing Needle. I have Pick Your Poison in against Rakdos Vampires to make them sacrifice the Vein Ripper, but Pithing Needle could turn off Sorin Imperious Bloodlord, and Pithing Needle would turn off that Field of Ruin there, which is extra painful usually with a deck like this where you want a specific combination of lands, but it's still well worth it in my mind. My favorite way to play dinosaurs, just because it's fairly resilient to all of the other removal that might bring us quite a bit of pain, as this deck can do with their World Spine Wurm there and Xenagos. Very scary stuff, although there have been some times in the past, once for sure, that I actually tanked the World Spine Wurm. I had, I believe it was a Carnage Tyrant and a Tyrranax Rex. I was at full health. I'm pretty sure it was full health, but either way, I survived with just a bit. Excuse me. I had too much to drink. Energy drink tonight. Oh, fantastic stuff. Sour green apple. Get fired up. Give myself energy. Just kind of like this dinosaur deck can be pretty energetic and deadly in a single turn. But what was I on? Oh yes, tanking the World Spine Wurm. Oh my goodness, how often do you get to tank it, live, play Ghalta? I was quite surprised to see that Xenagos. I knew what was up. I was kind of suspecting it might be some sort of shenanigans with the big score, unexpected windfall, that sort of thing. But, you know, pretty reasonable possibility of getting the job done, grabbing exactly what we need. Hopefully they don't have any more Field of Ruins or anything like that. Or Lightning Axe, or Fiery Impulse. Any number of things, which you're about to see. 1 Regisaur Alpha. Sometimes that, well, that's not going to get the job done. They're going to take it out. You're not going to be able to attack with everything. You're not going to get the job done on that turn, and you might absolutely need to. Not so here, but hey, that's pretty good. I tapped, how much was it? 6 lands. Oh, 6? 1, 2, yeah, 6 lands. Oh, just a message from my wife there. I'm building dressers. We got 2 of them. I don't have a whole lot of time to build them at night or after work, but with 2 kids, you get a lot of clothes. Yeah, there's never enough time for this and for other stuff, but I love it. I'm glad I'm finally getting to a pretty interesting example, I would imagine. Usually, Indomitable Creativity, it's not mono red. It does have Izzet colors, blue as well. But hey, I did what I could do. I knew it got pretty lucky, pretty fortunate. However, I mean, you can see with a deck that only focuses on one thing, if they don't do that one specific pairing, Xenagos and Worldspine Wurm, their plan B is, well, they might not have much of a plan B at all. It's so glass cannon, and that glass cannon is really good in a lot of cases. Certainly not so much there. Very surprising, very, very deadly. And I think with their mixture of Field of Ruin and Demolition Field, it would hurt quite a few decks, especially because not a lot of them are using basics. If you're 2 colors, 3 colors especially, there's a very real possibility that the Field of Ruin or Demolition Field just is straight up destroy a land, and you don't get any replacement. I really might up the number of basics I have to 4. At the moment it is 3. Sometimes I've tried 2, but just because any deck can use Field of Ruin or Demolition Field, yeah, it's rough. It's often enough that I don't think I would go below 3 basics at this point. I mean, they certainly could do their thing. I have the potential to transform Vorinclex and find Ghalta Stampede Tyrant next turn. I was able to make 6 with 3 lands there. That's pretty decent, pretty fast enough. I could have gone, I could have gone with another Commune. Okay, well, hey, they did their thing. I wasn't quite fast enough. I'm just happy I took them down game 1. I thought, maybe this won't work out. Maybe I won't get a good example. Sometimes it's pretty rough, and sometimes I just have to concede on my lunch break because the match goes too long. Usually it's over, or I can tell if I'm going to win pretty quickly, one way or another. No, that's too bad. Usually I try to finish it out, especially when it is something so interesting as this. Sylvan Scrying is, I mean, we're perfectly good right there. We're going to grab another Sunken Citadel, absolutely. That's going to be our land for the turn. Sunken Citadel always entering tapped. We have our forest there quite nicely, so whenever Castle Garenbrig does drop, we will be able to play a lot of good stuff. Not too worried. Of course, that goblin always attacking, making a treasure could be kind of rough. And also they're going to be sculpting their hand. If they're looking for indomitable creativity here, they can dig, get 2 turns closer. That mountain, I guess they really didn't need at all. Volcanic Spite. It is pretty okay. Okay. Hey, they had to use 2 pieces of removal to take out Vorinclex. They likely would have been dead the next turn. There's a very good chance the first copy of Ghalta Stampede Tyrant probably was going to be in the 10. We can pay 8 to transform Vorinclex into the Grand Evolution. Mill 10 cards, put up to 2 creatures from among them onto the battlefield. We had Palani's Hatcher and a Regisaur Alpha. Everybody would have had haste. The opponent would have been dead if that had happened. But I felt, they had used 2 pieces of removal. I might as well get some attacks in with Palani's Hatcher, kind of start to get this hasty, a little bit of a go-wide strategy onto the opponent, and I think that might do the trick. I thought it was worth a shot. There really wasn't much else I could do, but it's still pretty decent. Hey, I can still play all the stuff I have. Now, it could have been a little bit rough. If the opponent had taken out Cavern of Souls, I would not have been able to play Palani's Hatcher or Regisaur Alpha, which sometimes does happen, I must admit, which is kind of nice. If they took out Cavern of Souls, I still have Castle Garenbrig. That likely would have been a little bit better. Certainly Tyrranax Rex does get the job done, but I felt, let's get a bunch of creatures. Let's stick with that game plan and also get Up the Beanstalk. Get the card draws going. And also because I have multiple Palanis. It's very nice to get one out, hoping they don't have removal on the one that I have. If I can play the second Palani's, I'm going to make 2 eggs with its ability, but I have 2 Palanies out, which means 2 triggers. Both Palanies cracking the 2 eggs from the second one, meaning I get those 2 3/3 dinos. Oh, love it. It doesn't always happen, but that is a pretty fantastic case for always use 4 Palani's hatchers. If you see one, you want to see another, you get 2 triggers. If you have no eggs to crack, you make use of those 2 triggers with that second Palani's and, well, 3 toughness, of course. Sometimes that is a little bit rough. I wish Palani's hatcher was a 5/4. I guess that would have probably been a little bit too good. It is nice that Palani's hatcher is 5 power versus Regisaur Alpha's 4. It's nice to have that change. I think it would have been a little, if they were both 4/4. Nice they did something different. I mean, I felt pretty good. They have nothing in their hand, so we have a decent chance, that's for sure. Hey, keep taking out that something other than Cavern of Souls. Sadly, I can't play Tyrranax Rex, so it is good that... Oh, well, maybe. I mean, they could really get their thing going. Potentially next turn, they could kill us. We're just attacking with everything. They don't have anything in their hands. They have to block Fable. Pretty straightforward. Pretty decent. Which is pretty nice. Still, Fable, even if it didn't have to block for the opponent to save themselves, I don't think they could have saved themselves. Probably not.
Ruthless aggression.
Sometimes that is all it needs. Just keep attacking them. Even though it's not Ghalta, it's not Carnage Tyrant, it's not Tyrranax Rex. That's still a very good plan B, I would say. Better than the opponent's plan B of not a plan B. I'm pretty sure they could swarm us with goblins or something like that, but sometimes you just get it done. You have some fun. All right, take a bite out of that like button and see you next time. Peace.